And we're back with Pastor Schmidt and Pastor Redeker here at Four Winds, and we're excited for Chapter 1 of Gospel DNA.
This is exciting, and God's blessings to you as you are going through this. The first chapter, it starts out with people. That's the first marker. And the first marker is really important because Jesus came as a person. Jesus came as a people. And he came amongst God's creation as people to save us from our sins, to give us hope. So many people are living today without hope, and so many people are looking for answers. In fact, the first chapter starts out with an example of somebody who was in high school or middle school, I can't remember, but her name is high school. Her name is Whitney, and she was lost. She was looking for answers in all kinds of other things. Torn up jeans, dressed not the way maybe some people might like. But somebody contacted her. One of her friends came and intersected with her life, simply invited her to come to youth group, and that evening it changed her whole life. God really works in his own ways. As Whitney came to the youth group, it was very interesting because she was accepted. She was embraced just as she was. No questions asked. There's a saying that one of our professors always likes to say at St. Louis about church and about Christianity and about God's love. And it's, come as you are, but don't stay as you are. That's just exactly what Jesus does. He accepts us just as we are. Our sins, our scars, our wounds. And then the Christian church and each congregation is to embrace that person just as he or she is. That's what happened to Whitney. And after that night, she went back to school the next day and was shouting out about how great this is. And she started calling it my church. Yeah. She said, you got to come to my church. It was her church simply because of the love and the embracing, the hospitality, the welcomeness of Christ shown through the people. And so that's how God works. See, we don't need to have the doctrine right before we go out and reach people, and they don't have to have the doctrine right before they come into the church. Jesus welcomed all people, sinners, tax collectors, those who were ill, those who were rejected, those who lived on the fringes of society that nobody else will go to. That's to whom Jesus went. And that's who he wants us to go to as well. And this is what part of the reflections here, right?
Yeah, I love how she has ownership right away. It's so important for our youth group to be meeting every week. I love the kids, and it's just so important for them to be together, especially because they're spread out over 4 ginormous public high schools. This is the time they can get together in the faith. And if you grew up in your church, you can say, oh, yeah, that's the church. But you had that tension here in the story, right? With Whitney and then the other girl where, oh, it's my church, not a big deal. But Whitney says, oh, it's my church. After one night, just knowing she's part of something bigger than herself, something focused on Christ, something with love and genuine care for each other.
And acceptance.
And acceptance, yeah. They didn't have a dress code. They didn't have all these rules you have to follow before you get in the door. You get in the door, and then we show you how Jesus would have you live, and that makes a lot more sense. Why do you follow if you don't believe? You believe and then you follow, right? And so hopefully that's coming out in our study with Dietrich's Cost of Discipleship. Right, we're going through that on Sundays at 9:30, if you can make it. But also, it's not just for high school students. I see the same thing happening to people any age, even with the crown of gray hair on their heads. Where they just come to Messiah, and if they make the right connection, they find the right group, and they know they're welcomed and loved, besides just the worship service, they say, that's my church. I was just talking to someone today about that. So.
Crown of gray hair.
Yeah,
are you talking about me?
It's in Proverbs.
I know it is.
It
shows wisdom.
Yeah.
There's a lot of us wise guys and gals out there, right? We're the mature, we're the aged wine.
Older, wiser.
Yes, you betcha. Yeah. We'll be learning more about that in chapter 1. So welcome.